Y'all listen, when it comes to Claressa, I'm starting to get a little soft spot for her. I really am. I really feel sorry for her. The more I
Y'all buckle up, because what I'm about to tell you just blew up one of the messiest celebrity fairy tales the internet has been obsessed with. This is not gossip. This is not speculation. This is the exact moment a chaotic love triangle fell apart in real time, and one woman walked away with all the power again. For months, Claressa Shields boldly told the world she had taken another woman's husband. "My man," she repeated nonstop. Lives, posts, interviews, she showed him off, claimed him loudly, bragged about him, and built a whole fantasy around a married man while the internet watched like it was peak reality TV. But tonight, that fantasy is officially over. According to explosive claims, Tasha K has now stepped forward and confirmed what people were only whispering behind closed doors. Papoose is gone, Claressa is out, and Remy Ma is back in position. Sources claim the same man Claressa was calling "my forever" quietly packed his bags, caught a flight to New York, and went straight back home to his wife. No goodbye, no explanation, just silence, ghosted calls, unanswered messages, and a very public unraveling in front of millions. And this is where it gets disturbing. Allegedly, Claressa wasn't just dating him, she was mirroring his wife. Outfits, jewelry, travel destinations, even the poses. Fans are calling it obsession, fixation, stalker energy. And when she supposedly tattooed a married man's name on her body, the internet completely lost its mind. While Claressa was unraveling, Remy Ma stayed quiet, calm, unbothered. Holidays with family, rings still on her finger, pictures going viral, same house, same man. And now for the final bombshell. Tasha K is allegedly claiming that Claressa was never the main woman, never the choice, never the future, just a distraction, while the real marriage quietly repaired itself behind closed doors. This isn't heartbreak. This is humiliation. This is obsession crashing into reality. This is a fantasy dying in public. And tonight, we're breaking down how Claressa lost control, how Papoose played both sides, and how Remy Ma pulled off the quietest, most savage comeback of the year. Stay right here, because this story only gets uglier from here.
apparently Claressa spent Christmas alone in the Louis Vuitton store, racking up about $30,000 in bills.
What began as a loud, fearless love story slowly morphed into one of the most brutal public breakdowns the internet has seen in years. For months, Claressa Shields moved across social media with pure confidence. In her mind, she wasn't hiding, she wasn't sneaking, she wasn't embarrassed. She was winning. Winning a man, winning attention, winning a married man. Every live stream, every caption, every interview sent the same signal. Quiet, but impossible to miss. This is my man. And the internet watched, not calmly, not respectfully, but with fixation. Because this wasn't just romance. This was a married man, a well-known wife, and a third woman building a fantasy in front of millions. At first, people treated it like entertainment, a messy triangle, a celebrity soap opera, something to joke about, debate, then scroll past. But slowly the energy changed, because what once looked like confidence started to feel like obsession. Claressa wasn't just claiming a man, she was putting on a show of ownership. Every appearance got louder, every post pushed further, every caption felt like a direct challenge, and behind the scenes, something much darker was taking shape. According to claims now spreading online, the relationship Claressa believed was solid was shaky from the very beginning. While she proudly told the world she had locked down another woman's husband, sources say the marriage she thought was finished never actually ended, and the woman she believed she replaced never lost control. Because while Claressa was building a fantasy in public, Remy Ma was quietly rebuilding a marriage in private, and no one understood that better than the woman who would eventually step in and blow the whole illusion apart, Tasha K. By the time Tasha K entered the picture, the story was already cracking from the inside. Fans had started noticing inconsistencies, moments that didn't add up, questions that wouldn't go away. Why was Claressa always alone on holidays? Why did Papoose vanish for days at a time? Why did every public moment feel so carefully staged? And most importantly, why did this relationship look more like a performance than a partnership? Then came the live stream, the moment that quietly shifted everything.
I felt sorry for Claressa when she was in there blowing a bag, 30,000, and then she had to take the bag to Papoose.
That one statement flipped the entire story upside down. According to Tasha K, the luxury Claressa was showing off wasn't coming from a man at all. It was coming from her own pocket. The designer bags, the pricey gifts, the flashy surprises caught on camera. Tasha K alleged that Claressa was buying her own luxury items, handing them to Papoose, and letting him present them back to her on camera to sell the image that he was spoiling her. Not real romance, not genuine love, a performance, manufactured affection. And just like that, the narrative shifted. This stopped being about stealing a husband. It became about funding your own fairy tale. Fans immediately went back and rewatched everything. Old clips got replayed, screenshots resurfaced. Moments that once looked cute suddenly felt staged. The surprise reactions, the forced smiles, the awkward pauses. And then the most unsettling thought began quietly spreading through comment sections in group chats. What if Claressa wasn't the one being chosen? What if she were the one being used? Because according to those same claims, the man Claressa believed she had locked down wasn't just emotionally unavailable. He was allegedly financially dependent and had been living off women long before her. And Tasha K didn't stop there. She went further, much further. Sources claim this wasn't the first time Papoose recycled gifts, not the first time jewelry had been rewrapped, not the first time items paid for by women were presented as proof of devotion. And suddenly, a pattern started to emerge. A married man, multiple women, a lifestyle funded by whoever believed in him the most. And Claressa, according to these claims, wasn't special. She was just the latest chapter. Meanwhile, while Claressa was busy staging romance online, real life was moving in the opposite direction. Because behind closed doors, something far more devastating was happening. The marriage everyone assumed was finished was quietly coming back together. No announcements, no statements, no interviews, just actions. And the first sign was a flight. Sources say Papoose suddenly packed his bags, booked a ticket to New York, and vanished. No goodbye posts, no loving captions, no explanations, just silence. Claressa kept going live. Her captions stayed confident, but her energy started changing. Subtle at first, then undeniable. Missed calls, unanswered messages, public reassurance felt forced. And then the internet noticed something chilling. Claressa wasn't celebrating anymore. She was chasing. And that's when the obsession allegations exploded. Fans started putting together comparisons, side-by-side photos, matching outfits, identical poses, same jewelry, same boots, same hairstyles, same captions, even the same locations. People stopped calling it a coincidence. They called it imitation, fixation, and in the darker corners of social media, stalking energy. Because Claressa didn't just admire Remy Ma. According to online speculation, she was studying her, mirroring her, trying to replace herself with her, trying to become her. Then came the tattoo, the moment that permanently shifted public opinion. A married man's name etched into skin while he was still legally another woman's husband. The reaction was instant: shock, mockery, concern. Fans didn't see romance, they saw desperation. They didn't see loyalty, they saw delusion. And the contrast was ruthless, because while Claressa permanently marked her body for a man who wouldn't publicly claim her, that same man already carried his wife's name on his skin. Remy Ma, permanent, legal, history. And suddenly, Claressa didn't look chosen. She looked trapped in a fantasy she created and couldn't escape. By the time Detroit's appearances started making headlines, the breakdown was impossible to ignore. Courtside games, security involvement, over-the-top entrances, forced smiles. Claressa was everywhere. Papoose was nowhere. And Remy Ma, calm, silent, untouched. Family photos began circulating,
holiday gatherings, matching rings, same roof, same family, same man. And that's when the final confirmation started spreading.
Now, this ain't the first time broke Papoose, because Remy told us he was broke. Remember?
And in that moment, the entire storyline fell apart. This was never a fairy tale. This was never a takeover. This was never Claressa winning. According to these claims, she was bankrolling the illusion, acting out the romance, protecting the fantasy, while the real marriage was quietly stitching itself back together. And the hardest truth of all is this: Claressa wasn't losing a man, she was losing control, publicly, emotionally, financially. Because while she believed she was becoming the main woman, the real wife was never replaced, never removed, never defeated. And as part one comes to a close, one reality now dominates every angle of this story. This was never a love triangle. This was a distraction. And in the next part, we break down how the reunion actually happened, who orchestrated the silence, and why Claressa's unraveling was never accidental. It was inevitable. By the time the internet realized something was off, the damage was already done. Claressa Shields was no longer celebrating, she wasn't glowing anymore, and she wasn't convincing anyone. The same woman who once went online declaring victory now looked restless. Her lives stretched longer, her captions turned defensive, her energy became anxious, and behind that carefully filtered confidence, an uncomfortable truth was taking shape. Because according to multiple sources, the man Claressa thought was building a future with her had already chosen his past, quietly, strategically, without warning. While Claressa kept performing romance for the camera, Papoose had already started pulling away. Calls unanswered, messages ignored, travel plans canceled, and the loudest sign of all, holidays. Because when the holidays came around, Claressa was alone. Luxury shopping trips, designer bags, empty rooms, while Papoose was with his wife, with his children, with his family. And that's when the internet's tone shifted from entertainment to concern, because this wasn't a breakup, this was abandonment. But the most brutal part? Claressa didn't see it yet. She was still defending him, still claiming him, still protecting a man who was already emotionally gone. And that's when Tasha K stepped back in, not with sympathy, but with a warning.
Because he's playing you, Rissa.
Those 4 words hit like a silent blast. Not loud, not theatrical, just brutal. He's playing you. Because in that moment, Tasha K wasn't coming for Claressa. She was pulling the curtain back on reality. And what came next was the most humiliating reveal of the entire saga. According to claims now making the rounds, Claressa wasn't only emotionally invested, she was financially holding the relationship up. Luxury shopping, designer luggage, expensive gifts, not from him, but from her. But the internet didn't grasp how deep it went until one detail surfaced and wrecked everything. A receipt, a Louis Vuitton receipt. And just like that, the illusion fell apart. Sources allege Claressa went shopping by herself, bought a luxury duffel bag, posted the receipt, then handed that same bag to Papoose so he could present it back to her on camera as proof of devotion. Not love, not generosity, but theatrics, performance, manipulation. And once that detail became public, the narrative flipped overnight. Because Claressa wasn't being spoiled, she was funding her own fantasy.
Double bag, and it's like, did she just give him the gift to give to her to act like the things that we're telling her that he ain't got no money? He is gifting you his jewelry. He is gifting you your stuff that you're...
That statement exploded across social media. Clips got replayed. Screenshots spread everywhere. Fans paused videos frame by frame, and all of a sudden, every surprised reaction felt rehearsed. Every thank you sounded forced. Every gift moment looked fake. The woman who once bragged about stealing a husband had been purchasing her own evidence of love. And the man she defended so aggressively was allegedly living off her money while quietly rebuilding a marriage somewhere else. But the humiliation didn't stop there, because as Claressa unraveled, the internet noticed something far more unsettling. She wasn't just losing a man, she was losing herself. Fans started dissecting her behavior with surgical focus. The outfits, the poses, the captions, the jewelry, the travel spots. And then came the comparisons. Side-by-side photos of Claressa and Remy Ma flooded timelines. Matching boots, matching jackets, matching hairstyles, even matching facial expressions. And slowly, the story shifted from affair to imitation, from confidence to fixation, from romance to psychological collapse. Because Claressa wasn't just chasing a man anymore, she was chasing a woman, trying to replace her, trying to become her, trying to override a marriage that never actually ended. And then there was the tattoo. That tattoo changed everything. A married man's name is permanently etched into skin, while he was still legally tied to another woman. The internet didn't call it love. They called it irreversible. Because when that relationship fell apart, the mark would still be there, a permanent reminder of a fantasy that was never hers. And here's the cruelest part. That same man already had his wife's name on his body, Remy Ma's name, permanent, public, real, while Claressa was left holding ink and illusions. Then came the moment no one could deny. The reunion. Silent, unannounced, undeniable. Photos surfaced, holiday gatherings, family dinners, matching rings, same house, same man. And just like that, the story the internet believed for months collapsed in seconds. Because Papoose never chose Claressa. He went back to his wife, back to his family, back to the life he never truly left. And Claressa was left alone, publicly, emotionally, financially. And this is where the story turns truly tragic. Because Claressa didn't disappear, she didn't heal, she didn't step back, she doubled down. More lives, more posts, more public reassurance. But the energy had shifted. Desperation replaced confidence, defensiveness replaced pride, and the internet stopped laughing. They started worrying. Because this was no longer drama, this was collapse. Fans began leaving comments that cut deeper than any rumor. This is addiction. She lost herself. She sacrificed her dignity for attention. And the harshest truth of all, she never stood a chance. Because according to everything now circulating, Claressa was never the main woman, never the future, never the chosen one. She was the distraction, the temporary escape, the sponsored fantasy, while the real marriage quietly repaired itself in silence. And here's the final twist. Remy never thought publicly, never clapped back, never explained herself. She waited, she stayed calm, she stayed patient, she stayed in control, while the internet tore Claressa apart. Remy rebuilt her family, and now, wedding rings still on, holidays together, family intact.
Marriage reclaimed. The winner of this triangle never raised her voice, never defended herself, never performed online. She simply waited and took everything back. One truth now dominates this entire story. Claressa didn't lose a man. She lost a fantasy she paid for, protected, and destroyed herself trying to keep alive. And in the next part, we expose what happened after the reunion. Why did Claressa's meltdown intensify? And the final receipts that proved this collapse was never sudden, it was always coming. By the time the internet realized the reunion was real, Claressa Shields had already lost the most important battle of her life. Not publicly, not dramatically, but internally. Because while fans were still debating timelines, receipts, and rumors, Papoose was already back under the same roof as his wife. No announcement, no apology, no explanation, just presence. And sometimes presence is the loudest confirmation of all. For weeks after the supposed breakup, Claressa tried to maintain control. She posted as if nothing had changed. She spoke like she was still chosen. She smiled like her world wasn't collapsing behind the scenes. But people close to the situation shared something chilling. Claressa wasn't being left behind. She was being erased. Messages stopped. Plans disappeared, promises evaporated, and slowly, painfully, reality replaced fantasy. Then came the moment Tasha K finally dropped the confirmation no one wanted to hear. The reunion wasn't a rumor, it wasn't theory, it wasn't wishful thinking. It was already done. Time frame 7:03 to 7:09. That sentence ended everything. Not speculation, not a possibility, evidence. Christmas, family together. While Claressa was shopping alone, spending her own money, posting her own fantasies, the man she believed was building a future with her was already back where he belonged, with his wife, with his child, with his family. And suddenly, the entire timeline made sense. According to claims, the reunion was never impulsive. It was calculated, quiet, strategic, because Papoose never confronted Claressa. He never explained himself. He never announced anything. He simply withdrew and reappeared in Remy Ma's life. And the most devastating part, Claressa found out the same way the internet did, through silence, through absence, through other people's photos. And that's when the meltdown truly began. Not on camera, not in interviews, but in behavior. Claressa's energy shifted, her posts turned erratic, her captions defensive, her lives emotional. Fans noticed tears behind filters, anger behind smiles, desperation behind confidence. Because this wasn't heartbreak, this was humiliation. And then the final warning dropped, not as gossip, not as opinion, but as prophecy. I don't know who thought I was guessing, but I was tapped into your situation the whole time. And like I already told y'all, Ricky and Remy were together on Christmas. I've got photos of them side by side. And listen to this, I haven't even released those yet. Those words now hang over this entire situation, because according to insiders, Claressa wasn't the first woman footing the bill. She wasn't the first to shield him. She wasn't the first to believe the story. She was just the loudest, the most visible, the most public, and because of that, the most exposed. Behind closed doors, sources say Remy never panicked, never rushed, never reacted publicly. She didn't compete, she didn't mimic, she didn't perform for the internet. She waited. And while Claressa wore herself out chasing validation, Remy quietly rebuilt her marriage one holiday at a time, one family gathering at a time, one private conversation at a time, until eventually he came back fully, quietly, completely. And this is where it turns psychologically heavy, because Claressa didn't just lose a relationship, she lost who she had turned herself into. For months, she redesigned her entire image around one man, my future, my forever. Every post, every interview, every appearance was about proving she had him. But when the illusion cracked, the version of herself built on it collapsed too. And the internet watched the breakdown live. Then fans started noticing something unsettling. Claressa stopped mirroring Remy. She started chasing shadows, recycled outfits, recycled captions, recycled moments, like replaying the past could somehow rewrite the ending. But the truth didn't flinch. The reunion was complete, the marriage restored, the triangle gone. And Claressa was left clutching tattoos, receipts, screenshots, and a story nobody respected anymore. Meanwhile, Remy stayed silent. No interviews, no statements, no victory tour, just life continuing. Family photos, holiday dinners, rings still on, same home, same man, same marriage. And in that silence came the loudest message of all: I never left. The internet didn't hesitate to declare a winner. And it wasn't the loudest voice, it wasn't the flashiest caption, it wasn't the woman who branded a married man's name into her skin. It was the woman who waited and got it all back. As Claressa's unraveling became more visible, fans stopped calling her confident, they started calling her tragic. They stopped calling her bold, they started calling her broken. And slowly, one painful truth filled the comment sections. Claressa didn't lose because she loved too deeply. She lost because she invested in an illusion, financed it,
defended it, and destroyed herself trying to keep alive. And Papoose, according to these same claims, walked away untouched. No damage to his name, no accountability, no fallout. He went back to stability, to security, leaving chaos and a woman falling apart in public. As this chapter closes, one truth rises above everything. This was never about love.
This was about power, control, ego, and silence. Claressa chased attention. Remy mastered patience. Papoose played both sides. And in the end, the loudest woman lost. The quietest woman won. And the man simply stepped back into a life he never fully left. Because in celebrity scandals, the real winners are rarely the ones trending. They're the ones who never have to explain themselves. And this is where the story stops being entertainment and turns into a warning. Because what you just watched wasn't a breakup, it was the public execution of a fantasy. A woman built a future around a married man. She paid for it, she defended it, she etched it into her skin, and when reality finally showed up, it didn't knock politely. It erased everything. Claressa didn't lose because she wasn't enough. She lost because she trusted a man who never planned to leave his wife. She lost because she chose attention over truth. She lost because obsession blinded her to the oldest rule in celebrity history. If he'll betray his wife for you, he'll betray you for silence. And while Claressa unraveled in front of millions, Remy Ma never raised her voice, never begged, never competed. She waited and patiently reclaimed everything. A marriage, a family, a man, a reputation. Meanwhile, Claressa was left with screenshots, receipts, tattoos, and humiliation. Proof of a relationship that existed mostly in her imagination. And the coldest part of all, the man walked away untouched. No accountability, no consequences, no confession. Just another woman emotionally wrecked while he returned to comfort, stability, and quiet. So before you dismiss this as drama, really understand what you just witnessed. This is what betrayal looks like when it's slow. This is what manipulation looks like when it smiles. This is what obsession looks like when it collapses in public. And now I want to hear from you. Was Claressa a victim, or was she complicit in her own downfall? Did Papoose play both sides, or did everyone get exactly what they earned? And is Remy Ma the true winner, or simply the quiet survivor of a dangerous game? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because this story isn't finished. More receipts are coming. More names are circling.